Hey, what's going on? It's Joey Myers from Lead Generation SEO Services.com and the Lead Generation Strategies podcast. In this video, we're going to talk about what it takes to become an Amazon best-selling author. Now, it's not as hard as you think, because really what you're doing is you're taking and you're dominating a certain sector or category of Amazon in their books. For me, it was baseball coaching, and there are some pretty stiff competition authors and books in there. One being, for those baseball fans, hitting fans, The Science of Hitting by Ted Williams, which he wrote back in the 1970s, 60s, or 70s. And that book is pretty solid, consistent, the leading bestseller. And in 1 year, from 2017 to 18, I had that little Amazon best-selling orange sticker on there. So it was a combination of a couple different things. For those of you that aren't familiar and haven't published a book yet, a lot of this is going to be brand new. Some of you who have done that, some of this might be brand new, some of it might be review for you. So let's take a look first. If you have no clue where to start, just started, one of the best ways to look at what kind of content to include in a book is to just go to Amazon, look at Amazon bestsellers. A couple things that you can see in Amazon bestsellers are titles. You're going to notice that a lot of these bestsellers are short titles. They take the umbrella thing that your book is about, or the main benefit, the main promise, and it distills it down to 3-4 words max in the main title. Of course, you're going to have a subhead. Some of these you're going to see, like Atomic Habits. Some of you probably read this. And then it has a subtitle, which is an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. Hard to read there. And other ones, you're going to see a similar pattern with these books. So that's a great way to go into Amazon bestsellers and look at their titles, look at their subtitles, look at maybe some of their graphics. Some of them have done, like this one, The 4 Agreements. That's more of a picturesque drawing art type of one. Some of them you have images of the person themselves, depending on what you're branding, what you're looking to do on your branding. And then you have some are super simple. Right here, you got the 48 laws of power, and just power is all you really see. And then you see these little insignias and things like that that are just little things outside of the main focus. So that's one thing, to look for what you want the cover design to look like, your title, your subtitle, all that kind of stuff, your main layout. And obviously, if you have a designer, I would recommend using a graphic designer that has a UI UX, user interface, user experience type of training in their background, because you can have something look pretty, but it just doesn't work. Like this Atomic Habits works because it's simple, it's simplified. The colors, you just have 2-3 colors max, and that's it. You don't want to have all kinds of colors and words and just shiny objects all over your cover art. So once you get that and you decide, let's just hop into one of these categories, into business and money. And now what you want to do is you want to look in, obviously, your niche. Obviously, business is a huge, broad niche. So you want to go into whatever part of business you're looking at. Marketing. Okay, marketing's still a broad niche. You can go into different aspects of marketing. Like for us, search engine optimization. You can go into email marketing. You can go into all these other types of niches. And then what you're going to do is you're going to look at specific, now this is looking at, I guess, just the bestsellers here in these ones. But say, let's go into, I know a lot of these are going to be good. And so let's see if we can get one that's, the stars aren't completely 5 out of 5 stars here. Let's look at the tycoons. So if you go in here, you're going to look at the feedback. Now, the best feedback to look at are the 5 stars reviews and the 1-star reviews. Those are the most emotional testimonials that are given. And what you'll find on the 5-star is obviously the most glaring good that is of that book. And then with the 1 stars, you're going to get possibly the most worst things maybe that they left out in the book. And that's something that you can take and include in your book. The things that, for instance, my Amazon best-selling book, the first edition, I left out videos, links to videos and how to do the actual exercises. I taught the principles and just figured that people would put the two and two together, but that doesn't necessarily happen most of the time. So in the second edition, I reinforced the material in each chapter with more how-to, spelling it out, putting links to videos, things like that, because those were the 1-2 stars in the beginning that I was getting. And so I just changed that in the second edition. So let's go down to the ratings and see what we can see. And if we say 5-star filter, more than just tycoons, and then you can read through these. It's just giving you an idea, and we're not going to go through all this. If I hit the 1 stars, those are always fun. Love to see people in full critique mode. So boring. 100 pages devoted to what the book was supposed to be about might have worked. The other 200 plus pages of dull statistics and names were of no interest to me. So some people like the statistics. They like that kind of stuff. So you obviously read these things with a grain of salt, because you never know. I mean, most of these people, I'm sure most of them are real, but some of them, we've heard stories where they're not. So you take it with a grain of salt, use discernment, critical thinking, and you can pull some things out of this, right? So you can have a Cliff Note version of this, or for these kind of people, you can do different things with the I would say advice that are listed in these things. Too much time spent on giving details of economy, etc., not enough focus on the individuals, right? So that gives you some good information about doing a part 2, or including something into your, if you've already written that book and you're reading your own, or just something else that you can include into your book. So that's number 1, is looking at the testimonials, looking at the bestsellers to find out what your cover art's going to look like, or give you some ideas. To also look at your title, make sure it's 3 to 4 words max, and then you got your subtitle in there that you can add to explain a little bit more of what those 3 to 4 words mean, or put it into context. The second thing you want to do is, all right, how do I format the book? How do I format it? I wish I knew this before I wrote my the bestseller. I did it painstakingly from scratch, from my head, writing 30 minutes every day for 4 months, or whatever it was, 3 or 4 months. This made it so much easier. So get this book, The Book in a Box Method, the groundbreaking new way to write and publish your book. Great advice, whether you just read the book and do it yourself, or you can hire these guys to help you put everything together and formulate your organization. But the gist of it is you create and they help you with this. You create an organizational plan, like a structure, a chapter by chapter basis, bullet points, right? And then what you'll do is you'll take an audio recorder, and you'll have your chapter structure skeletal outline in front of you, and you will go just tell like you're telling a story, and you're recording your voice. At the end of that recording, or every chapter, however you do that, you transcribe it. You transcribe your audio, and that could be using Descript, that could be using any of the transcription, Otter.com or Otter.ai. Some of those transcription services, you might already have one. So you transcribe it all, and then you go through and you clean it up. So that is an easy way to sit down and just write. And what's cool about it, and that's what Book in a Box really talks about, is when you talk it out loud from your mind, it sounds more conversational. It flows better. Instead of you just trying to type it out in a left side brain type of manner, it's more formulaic. It seems more structured. It seems more proper. You're using proper grammar and sentence structure and all this stuff. And when you speak it, record it, and then you have it dictated, and you go through and you edit it, it sounds more conversational. So when people read those books, you probably read those books before or listened to them on Audible, they sound more conversational. It sounds like they're having a conversation with you, and it doesn't sound quite so rigid and structured. So this is a great way to organize your book and to write and publish it. Once you get that written, then we go into what's called Pressbooks.com. Press, Press, books, with an S at the end, .com. And what that'll do is now you can take all that content and you can copy and paste it into an organized, so this is my best-selling author book in here. and you can see these are just different sections. You got front matter, which is before your first chapter that you can put in. You just copy and paste. It's a WYSIWYG editor. It's based on WordPress. So for those of you that are familiar with your websites on WordPress, it's the same type of thing. So super easy. You set up all your chapters in here, and then you have back matter, which is all your after your chapters. Super simple. You put it in here, and then what's cool is once it's done, then you can export it. And this is where I've had some business owners that I've worked with have a problem with. Number one, okay, how do I get it in the right format? And then how do I get it into Amazon publishing? And with this puts it in the right format. Here's your print format. If you're going to do like a POD, like a print on demand type book, you have for digital distribution, that could be just a digital PDF, your publication or like Kindle, Pressbooks, XML. They have all kinds of different formats that you can use that a lot of the e-readers and things like that use. So then you just click export book, and then as you can see down here, you can download it. And then once you have the download right format, then you go into kdp.amazon.com, and these are my books in there. And you upload your cover art, it takes you through a step-by-step process on that. Your cover art's going to be a little goofy. Hopefully you have a graphic designer that can get you the right format of that. So you got to make sure each one, whether it's Kindle or whether it's a print book, the POD book, has to be in the right format and all that kind of stuff, like the dimensions and all that. So your graphic designer will know more on that. And then what's also cool is the big thing on Amazon to increase your visibility on there are reviews. Reviews are huge. So you can do giveaways on these reviews. So say if I were going to do a giveaway on Kindle, I can go, let's see, promote and advertise. I think that's this one. So if I go in here, it'll give me some options of what I can do. And here are a couple ones that are really cool. Kindle countdown deal. Well, that is, you're obviously going to get paid. You can do like a 5-day, I think is the max. And you can do these every 90 days. You can't do them all the time. So it's every 90 days it replenishes. You could do it again. And this will count down. So if you got like a $10 book, then every day that price will increase. So you can start it off at like $1.99, and it'll increase with each day as it gets closer to the end of it. And then the big one is the free book promotion, especially if you're in the business space. Free book promotions are great. Again, only 5 days, but this is how you get a ton of reviews. And I have an email list at the time where, we're in tens of thousands of emails. And so I would really blast that list every time I had one of these. And when I first put it out, I probably had 1,500, gave away 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 copies of this book. And of course, you're not going to get all those that are going to review it, but you're going to get a couple hundred, or you're going to get 50, 100, whatever. And those are going to really build your base on Amazon with the book. So that's how you can promote it. And then the other thing that you want to make sure you're doing, because Amazon captures all the information, customer information, you don't have access to that. You can't pull up their email or their phone number or their address. Amazon keeps all that from you. So the other thing that you want to think about is a print on demand service, which we use Lulu Express. And you do the same thing that you do over here at kdp.amazon.com, which is Kindle Distribution Publishing. You do the same thing and it has different dimensions for your cover art and things like that, so your graphic designer can take care of that. But you're going to upload all your content to your graphic design, all that stuff. You're going to pick and choose what kind of book, what the pages are going to look like, all that kind of stuff. And then what's great is that this exported file transfers right into here. So you have your formatted content, so you just upload it here. And then if you have, say like Shopify, you have an e-commerce service, and you have a bunch of, what do they call them, apps or plugins or whatever. And so in Shopify, they have an app that you can use that's Lulu Express. So I have it connected in there, and so I can sell a book like this, free book on Amazon, and I've sold over 1,000 of these. And it's just I don't make anything on it. I might make 50 cents, but I get access to all that information. I get their addresses, their phone numbers, all that stuff. And where that's important is when and if you want to advertise on Facebook, you can take all those emails, and I think even phone numbers. You can take all the emails at least, And I think you need at least 100 emails, but the more the better. So 100 to 1,000 emails. You can put those into Facebook's system and create a lookalike audience. So for those that aren't familiar with the lookalike audience takes those emails, goes in their database of billions of users, and finds similar, like-kind people that are attached to those, not attached to the emails, but are like those people with the emails. And then it'll create 1 million or 2 million or 3 million or 4 million. The less similar they are, but you want to stick to like that 1 to 2 million or 2 to 3 million. And so now you have access to people that are like the people that purchased your book. And that's where the magic happens on Facebook. And that's where you can take a $1, $2, $3 per email that you get on there down, and you can cut it in half. So at one point we were selling, I think it was, when you start in that ad, it was like $1. And then when we put in the lookalike audience or added that to the ad, it dropped it to like 50 cents to 40 to 50 cents. So that's how powerful these emails are. And you don't get that if you're just selling on Amazon. So I hope that was helpful for those that haven't done the book publishing space, but maybe want to. And then hopefully those that have, I'd take any tips from you if you got any other advice outside of that. But that is how I was able to get into the baseball coaching niche and become an Amazon bestseller. I hope you liked the video. We'll see you in the next one.